Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the second part of our chapter 9, the master budget. Last time we basically talked about some concept, background, and then general idea of what we will cover in this chapter. So in this video, we will start working on the detailed budget. So the first one, we said we always start from the sales budget, right? We always start from the sales budget. So we want to work on that now. How do we get our sales? You should know it very clearly. So basically, it's the units you budget to sell times the price you budget to sell for each unit, and then gives you the total budgeted sales revenue. I have to point out, although it didn't say it's our budget or predicted, but when we talk about budget, it's not our actual, it's just our budget. So we said that the company expects, right? So expects, that's the budget, expects to sell 30,000 cases, units, selling price expected budgeted to be $20 per each. So our budgeted sales will be budgeted units time the budgeted selling price for each one. We got 600,000 as our budgeted revenue, sales revenue. So textbook showed us our January, February, March, and then also the first quarter. Make sure for one quarter you have 3 months. So that is our first month, January. So we said it's your budgeted units. We budgeted to sell 30,000, and then each one selling price is $20. So our total budgeted sales is 600,000. So for the February, we budgeted to sell 20,000, and then selling price still 20, and then we got 400,000. In March, we budgeted to sell 25,000 units, $20 each. We got 500,000. And then the first quarter, then you just need to add, right? You just add those 3 months. And then the selling price is still 20. You don't need to add this one, and then you get your total budgeted sales for the first quarter. The only new thing is we separate our sales to cash sale and then also to credit sale. We don't really need it now, but we need it later when we do our cash budget, when do we collect our cash from the credit sale. So we want to get some background here. The cash sales is you get the cash when you sell your products, right? So the customer has to pay you cash before you hand the product to him or to her. Why we require the customers to give us cash first? We do this especially when we have some customers, they have a bad credit history, or you worry they may not be able to pay us later. So it's safer to get cash when you deliver your products. So we estimate 20% of our sales will be generated by using cash. So 20% of 600,000 is 120,000. 20% of 400,000 is 80,000. 20% of 500,000 is 100,000. And then similarly, you do 20% of your total 1.5 million. For the other 80%, we trusted them, right? We trusted them. We said, oh, you can get the products first, but you pay us cash within a month. I believe when you learn your financial accounting, you have heard something called net 30. That means if you pay within 30 days, you just pay. You have to pay the net within 30 days. So 80% of our total sales, 80% of our total sales, 80% of 500,000 is 400,000. And then your total will be 20% plus 80%, which gives you 100%. We said, just to read one more time, we said 20%, we call it collect on delivery. So which means it's the cash collection to new clients poor credit rating hasn't paid on time in the past, bad history. The other 80, we call it net 30, so they have to pay the net within 30 days. Okay, we will go back to this part when we talk about our cash budget later. But this is our first one. Oh yeah, remember we said we have about 8 to 9 budgets. We are done with the first one, so we go to the next budget. Not so hard, right? Not so hard. Okay, next one we call it a production budget. is a little bit harder for one specific part. So let's look at it together. Production budget. So production, but we said, hey, you want to sell 2 pencils, then you have to budget how many units you have to produce. So that's the production budget. We decide how many units you have to produce. People say, hey, you sell two units, and then you just need to produce 2 units. So that's very easy. But we said not really. Why? Because sometimes you want to produce a little bit more than your sales, just in case your actual sales is more than your budget. Um, you thought you will sell 2 units, so you just produce 2 units, but your product is so popular, everybody wants to buy your product. What can you do after selling the first 2 units? You will run out of the stock, right? So it's better to produce a little bit more. So that's the reason your production is not really the same as your sales. That's the logic. That's the logic. And what is the second part you want to think about is you have to know. Okay, so we said this month you want to have some ending inventory, right? Just in case you will have a higher demands for the actual sales. But your last month ending balance will be this month, the beginning balance. Okay, let me write it down here. So last month, last month, the ending balance will be this month, the beginning balance. Okay, is this month the beginning balance. So the only difference is we have an ending balance and then we have beginning balance. So our production is not exactly the same as our sales. We do some numbers, you will see what I'm talking about. As I mentioned, companies, they want to have some safety stock, just they want to have some ending balance in case the demand is higher. So you thought you will sell 2 units, but you want to give yourself a little bit extra safety. So you say, oh, maybe I want to have an ending balance of 1 extra, right? You thought you will sell 2, but you want to have an ending balance of 1. So you need to produce 3. You need to have 3 units. But does that mean you will produce 3? No. Why? Because your last month ending inventory is this month beginning inventory. Because you may have some beginning inventory. We said last month you still have 2 units. So the only units you need to produce this month is just 1 unit. Okay, so this is the difference of why your production is not the same as your sales. Because you have beginning inventory, we also have an ending inventory. And the last month ending inventory is this month beginning inventory. Okay, so let's look at some numbers. First, we said we want to figure out the total units you need. Basically, that's the units you will sell plus the safety stock. We will sell 30,000 units. You say, oh, you got 30,000 units. It's all from your sales budget. So that's the reason we must have a sales budget as the first budget. Okay. So we said we have our sales budget 30,000, and then we want to have a 10% of next month sales as our ending balance. Okay. Your ending inventory will be 10% of next month expected sales. Your safety stock is 10% of your next month and the sales. So next month, which is February, we thought we will sell 20,000 units, and then we want to have a 10% as our January ending balance. So we need to get 2,000 as the ending balance. So we need to have 32,000 total units. We need to have 32,000 total units. This is our first step. We got how many units we need, but we still have some beginning inventory, right? We still have some beginning inventory. Our beginning inventory is last month ending inventory. Our beginning inventory is last month ending inventory. Last month ending inventory is 10% of this month sales. You say, oh my goodness, you will get it once we show you kind of the steps. So your beginning inventory is 10%. Your beginning inventory of your beginning inventory is your ending inventory of last December, and your ending inventory of last December is 10% of next month sales, which is 10% of January sales. So your beginning inventory will be 10% of your 30,000 units in January. So we have our beginning inventory of 3,000. Now you put all the things together. You need 32,000, but you already have 3,000 as beginning inventory. So you have to produce 29,000 units. That's the logic. How do we get the numbers? How do we get the numbers? Okay, so I kind of like this one. It's kind of like, how do you say that? Kind of the horizontal way, you know, it's kind of a horizontal way. So it's visualize the steps. We go together, go all the lines together. We want to sell 30,000 units in January, right? But we also have a desired ending inventory. The desired ending inventory is 10% of your next month sales. So we need 10% of 20,000 or the 2,000 as our ending inventory. So totally we need 32,000. But we have a beginning of our own inventory as the beginning inventory. So we said your last month, we don't have a December, but January you should have a December. So your December's ending inventory is 10% of your January 30,000 sales. So that will become your beginning inventory of your January. We look at January, it's kind of hard to figure out, but if we look at February, let's look at February, okay? So February, our total sales, we expect it to be 20%. Our ending inventory is 10% of next month. Our ending inventory is 10% of March. So we will get 2,500. And then that's the total units we need. But our beginning inventory is the ending inventory of last month, right? So your last month ending inventory is this month beginning inventory. So our beginning inventory is last month ending inventory, which is 2,000, So our total production will be, we sell plus our ending inventory, that's the units we need, we minus beginning inventory, that will be the units we will produce. So what I'm trying to tell you, you can memorize this. Once you practice more, you will just, make more sense. But generally, it's whatever the percentage, okay? The question may be different. This example said 10%, but in your exam, maybe 20%, 15%. So the percentage time your this month sales will be your beginning inventory, Your percentage time your next month sales, will be your ending inventory. So the thing is, you go from there, your next month time percentage will be your ending inventory. Your this month 30,000 time your 10% will be your beginning inventory. For your February, your March time 10% is your ending inventory. And your sale 20,000 time your 10%, remember, time your 10% goes back, 2,000 will be your beginning inventory. March, 10% of next month, we don't know. It will be April. If I test you, I will tell you, hey, April is how much. But the 10% time your this month will be your beginning inventory. So your this month is your beginning inventory. Your next month is your ending inventory. Okay, that's the first thing you have to know. You have to kind of play with the numbers. The second thing I want to point out, and then I'm done for today's video. Okay, the second thing is our first quarter. Our first quarter, now we do not add everything. So your total sales will be the adding January, February, March. But your beginning, your ending inventory. Sorry, I forgot. Your ending inventory. So you have a January, you have a February, you have a March, and then this is your first quarter, right? So your first quarter ending inventory, your first quarter ending inventory will be the ending inventory of March. So March 31st is the ending inventory of March, but also the ending inventory of your first quarter, okay? But also the ending inventory of your first quarter. So your March ending inventory is also your first quarter's ending inventory. This is important. Then you apply the same logic. Your January 1st, your January 1st is the beginning inventory of January, but also the beginning inventory of your first quarter. So your beginning inventory of January is also the beginning inventory of your first quarter. So now you have your quarter's sales time ending inventory, which is also March ending inventory. That gives the units you need, minus beginning inventory, which is also beginning inventory of January, get the units you have to produce. You say, oh my goodness, I'm kind of lost. So we will practice one question together next time. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you next time.